Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
And for this episode we watched White Chicks. I fucked up the
intro. You sounded a bit like Shaggy.
Yeah, maybe I fucked up the intro because we met to start recording an hour ago. We've just been chatting shit for the last hour.
Hey, we've been chatting shit for the last 45 minutes.
We've been chatting shit for the last 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
So, what's you guys' memories with White Chicks?
We watched this together.
Yeah, we watched
I
this a
remember watching
lot.
this with you.
This
Did
was
we watch it a lot? I remember watching it one time.
This was one where it was like if people were around and we were having a movie night or just a general hangout night, it was like, let's watch White Chicks. And then it was like, oh, there's one new person that hasn't seen it. Let's watch White Chicks.
Yeah.
Ah, the pitch perfect of
Yeah.
Yes.
comedies.
The other Pitch Perfect.
And I genuinely haven't seen this for easily like 10, 11 years now. But during that small period of time of about a year or so, it was so much.
I think it might have been the case of like you already had it downloaded and ready to go.
Probably.
This was
Or
before
it was...
like everyone had... I mean, we might have had Netflix, but...
I think we had Netflix and it was... I mean, you know, it was on Netflix this time around, but I don't think this one has left Netflix during all that time.
No. Well, when I went to go watch it today, I had to rewind it. I had to like put it back to the beginning. Because clearly I had watched it relatively recently.
Oh, amazing. Oh, I did not have to do that. Do we all use the same Netflix account?
No.
Okay.
God,
Obviously we don't.
I hope not. How did you get hold of this Netflix account?
I did get a sign-in notification, actually, but then I assumed that was Jim.
So, yeah. This film, for some reason, had a death grip on me when I was younger.
Mm.
I watched it so much. And not even like with Dan, like on my own, I'd watch this film. I don't know why. I have absolutely no clue why I started watching it. But a death grip on my entertainment.
I mean, I don't know if I watched this more than once. I think we referenced it a lot after we watched it, and maybe you did show it to a lot of other people, but maybe it was times when I wasn't there.
Maybe, yeah, but yeah, it was definitely one that was then quoted a lot in the...
Because it stuck with me, and I've thought about this film a lot.
Yeah, this film gets in there.
Like, this is one of those ones where, like, I remembered a staggering amount of what happens in this film.
This film gets up in there. It don't leave. Gets its hooks in.
Yeah,
I think also, like, because we're, I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn.
When that was coming out. So, like, Terry Crews is just quite, like, a iconic kind of staple for my later teens. She says, hoping that that's when Brooklyn Nine-Nine came out and that I wasn't already an adult.
Think a bit after.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so probably about 2013, 2014, maybe? That's the only sitcom that I've watched from the first episode when it just started airing.
Yeah, I remember I think I started watching that pretty much straight away, because it was straight on to streaming.
Yeah, and like...
so it was, like, available.
Yeah, it was great. I actually... I think 3 episodes had aired by the time I started watching it, and then I just watched the whole thing weekly.
But anyway, so yeah, like, that weirdly was, like, the thing that I watched with Terry Crews in it the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's great in this.
Oh yeah, he's having a ball. And I think that's the other thing is, again, this is a film where everyone's having a great time. It's so stupid, though. I don't know if I just set the bar incredibly low. This wasn't as offensive as I thought it was going to be.
It's like... I had that issue watching it where I was like... It's like it's so offensive it kind of circles round.
Yeah.
Like, it's so...
But it's, like, offensive to white women, and I'm like... Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It's one of those where, let's face it, we are not the right people to have that proper discussion. But, like...
But I don't have a... I was expecting there to be, like, a lot of, like, transphobic comedy.
Yeah, there was a shocking lack of...
And it's
like
really not. There's, like,
transphobia.
one bit where she's like, oh, he's a man, and she's like, you're sick. But at that point, it's sort of... I think she's more just done with the done with it than like it being, because it was just like that didn't seem to be the real problem. The problem was the fact that she thought he was cheating on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I feel like the slightly more offensive bit is the beginning bit where they're like doing the undercover sting and they're dressed up as the shopkeepers.
Yes.
That felt far
That
worse.
was bad. That
Yeah.
and that had definitely 100% gone from my mind, because I think that might be because even as young dumb teenagers, we didn't quote that bit.
No, definitely not. I couldn't understand.
Like, that bit's just just racist. It was just bad.
It was just it's such a strange start for the film, though, because you're like, oh, watching it now, I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. Like, with that opening, I was like, oh, this is going to be painful. It's surprisingly not for the rest of it. Like, it's...
No. And some of the jokes are still fucking solid in it. Like, when he gets home and his wife's like, I've been up all night waiting for you. And he's like, it's only 8 o'clock. And she's like, you've had this much time to get back here. And he's like, okay, it took me 8 minutes to walk home. I would have had 2 minutes to cheat on you. Do you think that's enough time? And she just looks at him like,
So this film is about... We should probably explain what it's about, because I imagine a lot of people haven't seen it. Although this is definitely one of those films where I'm like, everyone's seen White Chicks.
Yeah.
No, they haven't.
No, everyone who knew Dan in 2013 has seen White Chicks.
Yeah. So it's about two police officers, FBI agents.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild that they're FBI agents. I thought they were just police officers. No, they're FBI agents, and they start off like they're kind of kooky, do disguises,
undercover,
do create like elaborate. They work like outside of the parameters of normal FBI. That's what they do. So they start off trying to like sting at a Coke dealership.
Yeah, it's like a little convenience store that's buying drugs through the guise of it being ice cream. But the first people that they beat up are actually just selling ice cream.
There's like heavily racist undertones. The whole film has like weird racist undertones and overtones. But it's kind of surreal outside of the opening.
Yeah.
Like the opening feels hostile. The rest of it feels sort of surreal.
The rest of the film just feels like silly parody, whereas the beginning just feels a bit weird.
Yeah, the beginning aged. A lot of this film aged poorly. The beginning aged the worst. And I imagine most people that watch White Chicks don't remember.
Because it's a comedy, and it stars black men, and it's written by and it's like written and directed by black people.
Yeah, it's like the Wayans brothers.
That does negate a lot of the racism.
Yeah.
In a way that, because it's like, I mean, I'm obviously, coming from an incredibly white background, I'm like, but there's definitely, like, the only time that they drop the N-word is, like, and it has, like, an immediate rebuttal, and, like, they make them, like, it's not okay, even if they're...
Yeah.
It's not okay for a white girl to say it, ever, even if it is, in fact, a black FBI agent posing as a white woman.
Yeah. And, like, the joke is... I don't know.
I mean, there is
some of the stereotypes
bit of that, though, where it's where they're all singing in the car, and they're like, "Oh, you can't say that," and they're like, "But there's no one around," and so they just all start singing it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's really weird. This film is. It's really hard to explain.
Yeah, it's also kind of trying to be like empowering for women in a way, but then also it's like sort of acknowledging the struggles of women, but also
it's full of stereotypes.
So
yeah, like they somehow learned the lessons of how to be better to the women in their lives, but through the most insane way. But I feel, I guess the story needed to have some sort of arc for the characters.
Pull.
Yeah,
but even
so
then,
they're put on this babysitting operation because these posh girls are supposedly the next target of a kidnapping attempt of like a serial kidnapper. They anyway, they fuck it up by crashing the car because of the dog like gets out on the run. It's a whole thing. Like they have like the tiniest little cut on their lip and forehead respectively, and they're like, well, we can't go to the Hamptons now, we're hideous. And they're like, okay, you guys just stay here and don't move. And instead of saying, oh, we fucked up this kidnapping sting, they're like, we'll get our team in and
do
pose.
Whiteface.
Yeah, do whiteface and pose as these girls.
Disguise us as these two girls, because
that's where it's
we
obviously
fucked up the
surrealist. It's surreal after this, because obviously, whilst it's kind of not bad, it's clearly still them. Like they don't look anything like these girls.
No, they're like a foot or two taller.
But they just immediately pull it off as being like, oh,
but
they've had
everyone,
plastic
it's one of those
surgery.
ones where it's like everyone goes along with it, and it's like, no. To be fair, no one's default, I guess, is ever. No, those are two FBI black men undercover.
Those are two guys. But it is like, so the women in this are like turned up to 11.
Yeah.
On like how they act, and it's like, yeah, it's not good sometimes.
Yeah, there's like the rivals are like the Vanderbilts or something.
Vandergilds, yeah.
Vandergilds, and it's all very bitchy, and
it's like Hollywood Hamptons kind of.
Yeah.
Super rich.
Yeah, this is like their socialites level rich.
Yeah.
These are all heiresses.
And to be fair, when you say like no one recognize them, when they first, so they get into their costumes, and then they go to a hotel to stay at, and the FBI are watching them because they think they're the actual girls, and then they meet the girls' friends, and the girls' friends are like, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they don't just like, it's not like suspension. Like this film asks you to suspend a lot of beliefs.
Yeah, it doesn't. They don't not acknowledge it, but they like the explanations are quick
and ridiculous.
And ridiculous. It's like, I had my knees done.
Yeah, because they're taller.
And like these girls are sycophants as well. So like they're actually, we find out pretty quickly, they're not really her friends. Like this is her publicist.
Yeah.
And essentially the girls' team that are with them, rather than it being like
friends,
just friends hanging out for fun. Like they're on payroll. And so like they're not gonna say anything rude, like, oh my god, you kind of look like a man wearing a lot of silicone like facial reconstructive
it's a bit
stuff.
Uncanny Valley looking at
you. you look you look wrong.
This film is suspending your disbelief over a volcano throughout. Like you need to not think, you need to stop thinking about it.
But because what's also funny is just like at the start, it's like they have a team that puts it together, and it's all really difficult. And then by the end of it, they're like whipping it on and off like it ain't no thing.
It's just full on Mission Impossible masks.
Yeah,
I guess that is the difference between like making the prosthetics and then like once they're made. It's really easy, relatively easy to put them on and off.
Yeah, because the team are like matching their faces and stuff to try and work out the best way of doing it. Yeah.
Disbelief hanging dangerously over a volcano,
yeah.
Swinging dangerously over some hot lava. But they get into the world of like Hamptons, which is maybe just awful. Like it just seems bad.
Yeah, the girls are pretty awful. They're not the stars of the show, obviously, but they are like immediately racist. Like assume that like they're the when they're there to pick them up that they're charity workers, and they're like, oh, we've already given to this charity, and it's like and then like, no, we're your FBI, and they're like, give them their bags instead. They're like, oh, okay, here are our bags, and like they're just pretty awful.
Yeah, and like everyone is like that. Like it's normal behavior. All of the Hampton people are like that.
Yeah, they're all just shitty people.
But they're just shitty people with money.
Yes.
I do like there's a bit later on where one of the background gags is that the thing is called Snob.
Yeah.
And it's like Southampton opposing nuclear benefit or something. Nuclear opposition benefit or something, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say down like...
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be quite funny if they still called it Snob and it was Sonbs.
No. But yeah, they get into the sort of group, meet the friends.
Party.
See the people, like two guys who one of the friends really fancies, even though he's not worth it. And the other one's just
they're like hooking up on the down low, and
yeah.
like she's clearly put more weight in the relationship than he has.
Yeah, and he is. So there's like the two villain women.
Yeah,
the two bad women who are who are like evil twins.
They are, yeah.
He's also that guy, that prick. He's also dating one of them, but only for money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is important. And then his friend, who is worrying as an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to describe him is off-putting and worrying. And a lot of this film is off-putting.
He's just sort of a walking red flag.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just kind of going around the party, meeting random people.
Socializing.
And,
that I know you might not have done this, Mikey, but... that's...
and then they're learning to, like, act like women, quote unquote like women.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the start they kind of drop quite quickly. So like as soon as like a guy checks out their ass, they like immediately forget and they're like, you know, being like, I'm gonna take you down or whatever. Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, we're women. And
there's a lot of like throughout this film there is a lot of offensive stuff, but it's all kind of light offensive. Considering the film that it's in, it could all be considerably worse.
It really, really could have been. For 2004.
Yeah.
Like oh my god, this could have been
20 years
worse.
ago at this point.
Yeah.
Like, this was peak bad decisions in film.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like we watched 50 First Dates, and that's like a pretty light-hearted movie. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of terrible jokes and like
and
really
blackface.
Poorly aged shit. Yeah. Like really poorly aged shit.
This doesn't this doesn't like the men dressing as the women, like in this, it's so tame in comparison to what I thought it was going to be. Like, there's no like gender identity jokes. There's none
at all.
You know, there's no really inappropriate jokes in that respect at all, and it was just ripe for the taking at that point. If I'm honest, like honestly, if you were going to make bad trans jokes, there's a few like gay jokes.
Yeah,
but it's mostly this film is so tongue in cheek, and it's actually, I think, genuinely quite funny. That helps. Like it's so absurd, and it's trying so hard that it's almost like it's just quite forgivable, because it's like, no, this is a joke. If you do not understand that this is a joke, that's on you.
This film is not for you.
Yeah, it's more leaning into
not
like
for
the
most people.
ridiculousness of the jokes and the situation rather than like anything else.
Like one of my favorite like stereotype, like, and as bad, sounds worse than it is, but like stereotypical black jokes in it is when the girls are coming around for a slumber party. They are quite unexpectedly dressed as they're there to put on their white chicks get up again, and they're just like talking about boys, and he's braiding her hair and like gives her perfect cornrows in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just that I thought was genuinely funny, because it's it's boys so... can't, but like most like white men and can't do a single braid, let alone like that
complicated box braid.
But yeah, it was
that
was impressive.
You also meet like Terry Crews, who in this film who is playing like footballer or basketball player.
Yeah, footballer.
Pro athlete of some description.
Yeah, pro sports guy. I'm sure if you know the sports, you could work it out, and I'm sure it tells you. Wasn't paying attention to that bit.
Yeah,
but it's Terry Crews, and Terry Crews is like the most charismatic person on the planet.
Latrell Spencer.
Yeah.
And he like zones in on one of the white chicks.
Yeah, because he's essentially he's a player, and he's like likes white women. That's his whole thing.
Yeah,
well, no,
when he first sees him, he goes, "Oh, a white girl with a black girl's ass," and that's why he goes for
well,
it's also like,
and you know, he's not 100% wrong.
It's also like it's Terry Crews in this playing a bisexual king.
Yes,
and that's brilliant. Like that choice, I think, was amazing.
He's also, I mean, the way he's problematic is not as like problematic in like as an issue within the way he's portrayed, but like his issue is he kind of at the end is like denies his own heritage.
I don't know.
Because he like basically is upset at the end when they find out. Obviously, it all comes to a head. And when he finds out the girl he'd been dating was in fact a black man, he's like not upset that they're a man, but upset that they're white.
Yeah, bisexual king, pansexual king, Terry Crews' character.
He just likes white women
and men, because it's not the problem. Isn't that it's a man either? It's brilliant. Yeah. Because, that skips over, like, that whole problem. Which, this film, I thought, was going to go down that route hard.
Yeah.
Because that's the obvious thing to do is, like, oh, but you're a woman and it's not...
I was kind of expecting more, and this is... Have we done this for the podcast? Have we done She's the Man?
No.
No, I don't think we have.
No. That's the football one.
Yeah.
That's 12th Night.
Yeah.
That one I feel really leans into the accidentally gay, isn't that gross, both ways kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, so does 12th Night. But this one really doesn't. Like, that's not... No. It's not the like, sexuality isn't really the butt of any of the jokes.
No.
No, which is... Well, it's a butt of one joke, and we'll get to that at the end. There's one good gay joke. But also, like, this is based on... Weirdly, and this is, like, really loosely based on... is it Some Like It Hot?
Yeah, the Marilyn Monroe film.
Which is
a great film.
It's a great film, but like not at all like White Chicks.
I watched it. There's the scene on the beach is actually like scene for scene the same, like the way they filmed it, which is really cool. But it's that film. It's not like it's not men pretending to be white women. It's just men pretending to be women so they can play in they're on the run from the mafia, I think, and they need to or the mob, and they need to like get some work, and they can't get work as men, jazz like in a jazz band, so they dress up as women and are in like a women's only band troupe.
Yeah.
And shenanigans. I can't remember what happens exactly, but yeah, like
it's a pretty like legendary film. Like it's one of those films that people love. And it's so weird to be like, oh yeah, White Chicks is based on Some Like It Hot. In like the loosest definition of... I don't think I've ever seen a film be based on another film so loosely.
Oh yeah.
Terry Crews' character is brilliant.
Yeah.
The running gag that like people need a wheelchair after they sleep with him.
Yeah, I remember that being quite quoted. The other thing that was quite quoted is when the Vanderbilt sisters are like, start talking about their mothers, and they're like, is that where we're going? It's your mama sold her breast milk is powdered. It comes out like this, it just blows some white powder out.
It's so funny.
The dance off is also pretty sick.
I want to talk to that when we get to it, because it's brilliant. Because I'm trying to put this
they really go for white girls can't dance, but as a white girl who did an exceptional amount of dance tuition. Yeah. I would be worse, I think, than all of the actors in this.
I'm trying to put this film... I watched it today. I'm trying to put this film in order in my head.
Okay, sorry. I've made enough notes.
After the party.
So, after the party, when they first met Terry Crews, they have to go shopping because it's the auction that night and they need new clothes to wear.
Yeah, he meets a journalist that he fancies. And he actually, so he's like genuinely interested and like having a good time hanging out with her.
Yeah.
So he sort of starts to brew up a little B plot, as it were.
Yeah. Kind of does well and becomes an A plot. But yeah, they go to get an outfit. This is great.
I did really enjoy the bit. It was like, what size shoes do you wear? And he's like 14. And you're like, what? But it starts 14.
Well, she goes off, like, one of them gets taken off to get an entire new outfit, which is, like, beige peach leather.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is 2004, so, like, let's be real. That could have been, like, fair. High fashion.
No, that's true.
Like, it's so hard to say, like, what was, because this is, like, for a essentially, like, a black tie event. Or at least cocktail.
Wild. Yeah, it's a wild look. Essentially, he puts on the most complicated top.
Yeah.
And then gets a phone call.
Oh, from his wife,
Yeah.
And the person's
And
trying to help
he-
get him on, like, oh, it's so big, it's not going to fit in that hole.
And thus
Right,
the
you
other
push, I'll pull.
Yeah.
the other B plot
Oh,
is his
it's
wife.
so tight.
What? His wife thinks he's cheating on her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she strongly suspects he's cheating because he's been disinterested in the
obviously.
relationship, and then all of this like sus behavior around
Yeah,
like
then
going
vanishes.
to like because they're
And-
they're not going rogue exactly, but they're really not supposed to be doing this. Like they do not have
not
FBI
at all.
permission to be white chicks.
No.
Yeah, no, yeah, that would be a weird thing for the FBI to sign off on. Probably not the weirdest thing they've done, but I do at a point I'm like, why not just tell her?
Yeah.
Because she's not like connected to the FBI. She won't tell anyone. Why not just tell her?
Yeah, that and that's a common like rom-com dispute
Trope,
issue, isn't it?
yeah.
It's just like, how about
Just,
Yeah.
you
Just say
talk
something.
to each other? Just tell her.
just tell her in like a normal way.
Especially when they eventually like meet up in the hotel room, and it's like, just say.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard. But obviously they need to keep that, like,
Yeah.
thread going.
Yeah. But yeah, in the changing room, he's like struggling to get the trousers, like the leather peach trousers.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
This is also, I mean, this is 2000, so buying, and I'm going to call him what he is in this, plus-sized clothing,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because he's, what, 6'4" or whatever?
Yeah.
Buying plus-sized clothing in a standard, like, high-fashion mall, like,
Yeah.
hard, impossible. So, like,
Yeah.
there's no way they're getting clothes that fit.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the one of their friends is like, "Don't worry, I know what to do," and just kind of shoves him against a wall.
Yes, yeah, I've got a technique, and I do remember that actually. Yeah, like that was a thing. Lying down to put your jeans on,
Yeah.
like that was a thing for a long. Yeah, jeans. Basically were at one point painted on.
Yeah. It was like the
And,
super
like-
skinny look.
Yeah, super skinny, and you had like they're not forgiving at all because they do up on the fattest part of your stomach,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the widest part of your stomach, because like low rise jeans were the fashion. They're coming back as well, which I'm fucking
Yeah.
furious about.
I just
Shouldn't
Yeah.
be allowed. But yeah, so like putting on these jeans, I remember like having to lie down to put my jeans on and stuff like that. Like,
I think people that haven't worn or seen the level of skinny these skinny jeans were
Yeah.
back in the day. It's not like a little bit skinny. It's not like, but it wasn't like jeggings,
Yeah.
they weren't stretchy.
which is a flash from the past. They were like,
Jeggings, that was like 10 years later, and it was like, wait, they can be comfortable.
yeah, but skinny jeans weren't like their jeggings. Like followed the shape of your legs.
Yeah.
Skinny jeans were like straight up and down.
Yeah, drain pipes.
Yeah, full drain pipe. They made everyone look like a cartoon character, like an evil
Yeah.
Fucking Halloween cartoon character.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like the other guy is trying to help one of their friends into like find an outfit, and she just keeps on going on about how horribly fat she is.
Yeah,
When she just
that's-
isn't at
that's
all.
sad. It's like she's
Yeah.
like being like, how can you say that? I look ugly. This dress makes me look ugly. Look at me, I'm a piggy. It's
So
actually like
just-
really hard to watch.
But then it goes so over the top because she's like, somebody throw Shamu back in the ocean. Like, that's a good line.
Yeah.
Like,
think-
yeah, it
But-
is funny, but
The-
it was hard for me to as a woman.
Yeah.
It's a
It was
weird
like, oh, been
stereotype.
there, like, oh, like
Yeah.
buying. The combination of those two things of like buying jeans in a like it was something like you have to like mentally prepare yourself for. It's
Yeah.
like there's no way I'm coming out of this without my ego taking some kind of hit.
Yeah, she was just hysterical about it.
Yeah.
And like that wasn't great. That wasn't great sort of
No.
writing.
But the best.
I mean, well, it was kind of funny by the end.
It
of
was kind of
but it was
funny.
like, oh no, because it was so true. Like,
Yeah.
women were especially in 2004, like
Yeah.
fed this idea that you had to be heroin chic, you had to look ill to be
Yeah.
considered properly thin. Like that's what was
Yeah.
angular, bony.
Yes, emaciated.
I mean, yeah,
That was the look, and like deathly pale. It was It was
like
weird.
these. I mean,
Yeah.
all the girls in this are really, pretty.
Yeah,
They are all pretty much exactly the same shape. that makes the whole thing when she's like being, oh, I'm ugly and I'm fat, like just kind of funny, because it's like it would have been worse if they'd picked someone who either clearly had an eating disorder and was really, really underweight, or someone that was plus sized or overweight, and then it was like just fat jokes. Like those two directions that it really easily could have gone in.
Yeah.
It didn't. So I feel like it almost gains points for that.
Yeah. This is the thing. This is what I mean.
having a bitch.
It's kind of like the opposite of, oh well, it was that time, and like giving it. I'm giving it brownie points for not.
Yeah.
Giving into like the bad comedy that it could have really easily been, like if they'd had Adam Sandler involved.
And this is what I mean. Like, no, that's it. Like, this is what I mean. It's so surface level offensive, but it's not actually. It doesn't go for it like other films have.
Yeah.
Like, it's so uncomfortably not okay the whole time, but not enough. It doesn't really go at anything.
No. But this scene concludes with a great bit, which is where the bag gets robbed.
I also love, like, with the panicking and she hates the way she looks. The joke is also that he just can't handle it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm going to get you help. You need professional help. I'm going to get a professional.
That was a good joke.
No matter what outfit he was bringing, it was never right.
Yeah.
He is not built for that situation.
No.
He was not ready to deal with it. And then they get the bag. They go outside and their bag gets nicked.
Yeah. And so they just fucking sprint after the guy. And there's other FBI agents that are trying to
badge and the gun is in
them. So they're just surprised that this like white woman is just absolutely chasing down this guy who's just robbed the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's because of the badge and the gun. It's not just like, he stole my bag.
Oh yeah, no, like. But then when he does get it back by just like slamming into this guy, he's like, it's not just a bag, it's Prada.
Yeah, that was a good line.
That was a great line. And then we have the car scene, the driving scene, where this film, one thing it did right is it made 1,000 Miles more famous.
Yeah.
It really cemented 1,000 Miles.
The only context I have for this is just Terry Crews going, and then straight look.
Yeah, that little bit is because it's when they're in the car before they go shopping that the girls are all singing,
and they're like they're like taken aback that the white chicks, I'm just going to call them that because that they don't know all the words, and they're like, this is your verse. And they're just trying to like mime like that awkward way when you don't know the words to a song that everyone seems to know, and you're just like,
yeah.
But it cemented 1,000 Miles into like collective memory. This film did, and then we have the other song. Yeah, that's a weird scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when they're all singing in the car. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an odd one.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the seagulls.
Yeah, they really seem to go crazy at exactly the time we're recording.
Yeah.
You've got to stop leaving salmon outside your window when you record.
That might quieten them down. You should try it.
God.
But so what happens after that? I can't try to put something.
After that is when they then have the benefit, and there's the people are like bidding on the girls so they can take them out for dates.
It's like auctioning off a date. Yeah, which is, grim, but definitely a thing that happened.
Yeah.
But they weren't going to do it, were they? And then it's like the girls want to get back at like the Vandergeld girls.
Yeah.
Want to get back at the white chicks, the Wilson sisters.
The Wilson sisters, yeah.
So they decide to do that, suspecting that they won't get picked because no one's going to be interested in them, and it's just going to like show them up.
Yeah, and then fucking Terry Crews steps in.
Yeah, because one of the Vandergilds, someone bids $20,000 on them. And that's the most anyone has ever bid. You're never going to beat that.
Yeah.
And so,
and like they start off the next girls one with
it starts off
$5.
Like $5, yeah.
$5.
But then the other guy, the other white chick, is going around and like kicking people, and weirdly for some reason doing whatever, I don't know, secret FBI move makes people raise their hand in the air.
Yep.
Yeah. And just bulking up the price. So then Terry Crews is like $50,000.
Well, it's a bidding war between Terry Crews and like whoever they can get to bid.
Yeah.
And obviously he's like dropping his voice and using his like male voice as well.
Yeah, and it's like Terry Crews has $50,000 in cash.
Yeah, $50,000
ready.
cash. And the assistants, they're just holding like 2 big piles of money.
Yeah. And he literally like picks her up and takes her off.
Yeah. And obviously he doesn't want to go on this date.
No,
obviously not.
And then, and then the date's a little bit later. So after this, they have the slumber party scene, which on Netflix there's a scene that's not in it. I've definitely seen it before where there's a bit in the slumber party where like messing around with dildos and I
don't know. I can't remember that.
There's like I've definitely seen that deleted scene before, but I don't know if it was like on a DVD or something.
It's probably on a DVD.
And that's when these people come in and they think they're about to get kidnapped, but it's actually strippers.
Yeah, and we also get like one of the guys learns how to deal with his wife, like learns to be empathetic, which at this point was like a major arc for every male character in a film. It was like, here's how to be empathetic toward your wife, because one of the girls is saying like with the guy that's cheating on her and everything, and she says, oh, but I dress nice and I do my hair just in the hopes that he notices.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I should notice my wife more. The bar was low back then for male character development.
Yeah, it was like, acknowledge you have a partner.
Yeah. Acknowledge that they are
Tell
also
them
a
they're
person.
pretty. Say you look nice, honey.
Acknowledge them as a human. Perceive them. Perceive your partner was the bar.
Damn.
That was it. And then the people come in and they're like, oh god, they're trying to kidnap me.
I love it that they're trying to pin them down and like, dude, this girl's strong.
Just go to beating him up and it's like, no, they're the strippers.
Like, they tried to kidnap us. That's part of it. And I'm just like, the fuck?
That's not good.
That's
a
not a slumber party fantasy to play out, is it?
No. That's something you sort of tell in advance.
But also, like, for normal people, that's kind of scary. For, like, super rich, that's an entire possibility at any moment.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like, that's not...
That's why they've all got kidnapping insurance, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, that's... For like, a normal person, that's terrifying. But, like, unrealistic, like, it probably won't happen. In, like, 99% of times. For like billionaires and like the children of billionaires, yes. That's terrifying. That's like a relatively common thing, I imagine.
Oh yeah, no, like that. Especially in isn't it like South American countries as well? It's like you're quite high risk of being kidnapped, and you don't even have to be that wealthy.
Yeah.
It's like just... wealthy enough to pay the ransom. It's basically have someone love you enough to pay the ransom.
Maybe don't book the kidnapping. How do you sell yourself as the kidnapping strippers?
Yeah, no, it's weird.
Like, how do you sit there and go, okay, we strip, but what edge can we have? What's
well, they probably
USP?
do all of it. Maybe they've already run through all the basics. They did,
true.
They've done police, they've done, you need to turn down the music. They've done fire officers. They've done delivery, like pizza delivery man. Maybe they've also done plumber. I mean, how many years have they been going to these events?
That's true.
They might be scraping the barrel at this point.
And now it's like, well, when they open the door, we tackle them to the ground.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. I know that it's a real, like, fetish that people can have. But it's like, why the fuck would you have that as like a group thing?
Tackled to the ground.
It's like, I mean, yeah, you do you. Like, what happens just in some, like, between consensual adults in their own home?
Yeah, not yucking you up. But
I mean, in a hotel, in a party
about.
With lots of people.
Slumber party, yeah.
Like, strippers coming to a slumber party anyway is fucking weird. Yeah, even if they turned up and were like, hi, we're the strippers. I'd be like,
yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, these are also women in their, like, 20s.
Yeah, what? Again,
it's
2004. Weird. Like, I don't know. Like, was that a thing then? Did women like strippers at that point? Like,
I don't know. It was just an excuse to do another joke.
Yeah. Subterfuge of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, have the panic of, oh shit, that this is the real reason why we're here.
I guess it also serves as a reminder as to why they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
So then the beach scene afterwards.
Yeah.
So this is the one that's actually based scene for scene on some
Yeah, because Kevin dresses up as Latrell, who's like just sort of stripped off and he's just in some fucking budgie smugglers.
Oh, the bit where he's like, oh, where's this? Because they're all sunbathing. And he's like, where's the white? One of the white chicks is like, where's
Marcus,
the sun gone? Marcus is like, where's the sun gone? And it's just, and we just get this upshot of Terry Crews and like the bulge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a whole salami in there. Like, I don't know what pair of socks or something they put in there, but it's like, oh, okay.
And yeah, meanwhile, Kevin is dressed as him to flirt with Denise, who's a reporter.
Because she kind of said at the gala, the auction, that she likes rich men.
Well, so she wanted to date rich men.
Yeah, she wanted to date rich men.
Because she's used to dating, like, bad men.
Yeah. She called them losers or something.
Yeah, and he goes on to pretend to be Terry Crews' character.
Yeah.
And, like, he pays a couple kids to come up and, like, get autographs.
Yeah.
But he's just trying to get a date with this woman who he's lying to, so clearly hasn't learned that much yet.
Not yet, but
Not
also
yet.
She'll forgive him because, again, the bar
For
is
some
low.
reason. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what happened. Again, like I know what happens in this film, I just can't put it in order in my brain.
Yeah, so now it's the night where Latrell is taking Marcus's white chick on a date. That's the scene where he shows up in the car and 1,000 Miles starts playing.
Yeah, the scene.
It's just Terry Crews
one of the two scenes.
Because he puts it on because he's trying to be like stereotypical white chick, and is like, Marcus is like trying to make it as like be as annoying and bad as possible because
the worst date.
Trying to be like the worst date because he doesn't. What I think he is desperate to avoid is obviously a situation where like there's more flirting or he gives Latrell like the wrong idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he puts on 1,000 Miles and Terry Crews fucking goes for it.
It's like, oh, I love this song. How did you know? And he sings like a lot of it.
Most of the song. One of the two iconic scenes in this film.
But yeah, I can't say enough how long that scene is. Like I'm sure they cut it, but they didn't cut enough of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he did the whole song.
Yes.
And there's a video out there somewhere of him doing the whole song.
For sure.
He's a very complex character, Terry Crews' character in this.
There's quite a lot going on in there.
Character. He's there's a lot going on with that guy.
But yeah, they get to the date
going on that.
Yeah, when they arrive, Kevin's
taking the car.
Yeah, he presents the valet to take the car, so he can then take Denise on a date to Latrell's house.
Terry Crews' house, yeah.
I do love that. There's just the big painting of Terry Crews on the wall.
Yeah.
That's my trainer. Like, inspiration.
In a massive, awful, cold-looking house.
And while they're there, the sort of date of actual Latrell is Marcus just ordering. He's like, oh, for the lady, perhaps a salad. He's like, perhaps not. I'll have the... and just orders,
it has like
everything.
The greasiest, like the worst sort of first date food you could imagine, like greasy onions, garlic,
steak, ribs, all sorts.
Yeah.
The scene where he's like, oh, oysters, they're an aphrodisiac. Sorry, tongue's kind of big.
Oh, that was awful, yeah. And he just does the little blah, 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 blah with his tongue.
I was watching it with Lauren and she just looked at me like, oh no.
Look, he's a king.
It's so funny. But yeah, it's... Oh, God, that bit was so gross.
Yeah, and then the white chick is like chewing on his toenails.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like really letting a hell of a lot of it slide.
Yeah.
Like this guy's got like, love is blind.
I think he just finds it attractive. He's not like...
He's just not off. He's not put off at all.
No, not at all. And like he starts farting, like when the white chick starts farting, he's like, "Huh, we can be together." And he starts farting. He's like, "Oh,
yeah, oh, that's
he's
great." Because
really
then he
not
calls
bothered.
to be like, yeah, I need the car, and you just come pick me up. And he's like he's been farting for the last 20 minutes.
After Kevin's been dragged off by a Rottweiler, it's clearly not his.
Yeah, I yeah, this was like probably my least favorite part of the film, because that was very 2000s guy kind of getting away with doing something really weird,
terrible.
and like it takes her a hell of a long time to be like, what the fuck is like, this isn't right, like why are you lying to me? And it's like she's not stupid. They never tried to portray her as stupid, but like that situation
she lets it slide too much.
Yeah,
and it's during that date that she talks about how, like, essentially the Vandergilds are, like, she got fired from being a proper investigative journalist because the Vandergilds are basically broke and someone else had money on them or something, like stash loads of money in an offshore account.
Yeah,
has been embezzling.
Stole a load of money. It doesn't go into enough. I like that she's clever throughout the film. They don't do that enough. Like, she's a good journalist.
Yeah. Because it's because of her that they're like, oh, we know what the motive is now for the kidnapping. Like, okay.
Yeah. But she doesn't do much journalism.
No.
She just kind of tells it. She expositions on them.
Yeah.
And then leaves. That's what she does throughout the entire film. Is she just does exposition. She's the exposition character. Yeah.
It's a bit lazy, but considering like the rest of the writing's pretty solid, and like the other scenes, like this, I thought that I don't know, I just don't find this part of the film particularly entertaining.
It's the most boring part of the film.
Yeah.
And it's because it goes from being like surreal white chicks to like a normal 2000s comedy for a bit.
Slapstick.
And the energy between that scene and the date is so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's also the hard thing, is that it's cut with this really funny, like, ridiculous scene where you just don't know what Terry Crews or Marcus, is it Marcus, are going to do next.
Yeah.
Two very charismatic characters.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to
having essentially a gross off, which is just excellent film at, like, you know.
And also during this time is it shows the actual FBI agents that are then following them, trying to figure out what's going on because they think something's a bit sus. The one of them's just being creepy and like sniffs the underwear as they realise that actually
they break
it's
into
two
the
dudes
apartment.
dressed as
they find the masks.
Oh, that was one thing. Like, they had the FBI guys that are watching them, the ones that are actually still technically on the job, keep on doing like a would you rather.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, at the time I thought it was a bit boring, and it was also like references to lots of women that I do not know.
Yep.
From like 2004's American pop culture. And then the line where it's like, you know, who do you want? Like, is it like Kevin or Marcus? Essentially, that was like, who would you rather it be? Was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But then it goes to the scene where they're at the club.
Best scene in the film.
Yeah,
one of
that
the
weird
other
guy
scenes
Russ gives Latrell something to spike the drinks with.
Absolutely wild, by the way. That's like the opening to that scene.
Yeah, that was that was like, okay.
Also, because so far Terry Crews' character hasn't seemed like that kind of character.
Not creepy.
Well, I guess it's like, put these in a drink to loosen her up. Rather than it being like the date rapey kind of GHB thing, it's like I've already had two and I'm having a great time. It's like, I guess that's a better kind of. I mean, obviously,
it's not great.
It's not good.
No, I mean they notice straight away and swap the drinks anyway. So the
because they're FBI agents. They're FBI agents.
Yeah, and it's still fizzing.
Yeah. But they get so they're just having a party with the girls. They're having fun,
and they're like, "Oh, I think we should dance." And they're like, "Yes!" And then like that whole baby. Oh yeah, there's a dog in like this the entire time. There's been a dog the whole time that's just disgusting.
Just a little shit.
Literally, like it just poos in its bag constantly.
And the Vandergilt sisters keep trying to like out sexy them, and so they're like, right, it's time for a dance battle.
Well, it's because it's like that guy that one of the good
is his name Heath?
Girls,
Heath, yeah.
I think so.
Who we find out soon is secretly going to kidnap them.
Yeah. secretly gay. That would have been a twist. That would have been an incredible twist in this film.
No, it turns out instead he's the bad guy.
The bad guy.
But yeah, the dance
they're trying
battle
to
scene
get
is incredible.
The fucking it's an incredible scene, and like if you haven't seen White Chicks, go and watch the dance battle scene because it's just bizarre. Like it doesn't fit in with the rest of the film in any way.
It's way too absurd.
And the dance moves are so rigid and aggressive.
And unpleasant to look at.
They're not good from either. So it's like the evil twins. So the evil twins doing and like their friends that only appear for that scene.
It's like coordinated.
Do a dance to like "Crazy in Love" by Beyonce.
Yeah, it's so bad.
This is planned. Does it? I have so many questions. Does it happen often between these groups of people? Because they all seem to know exactly what to do. Is it rehearsed? When did they rehearse? What is going on? And they're such shit dancers.
But yeah, they are like fully choreographed dancers.
Really?
But
like
the moves
4 or 5
are
people
just
on either side.
awful.
Just terrible.
Anyway, it looks like it's the Vandergirls have won, and then
somehow, by the way, they just kind of go, "Oh no, we lost."
Not necessarily better.
No,
it was like
I don't know.
the
Yeah,
crowd rules have just one of them won.
Well, what they did is they choreographed a little bit more than the other girls.
Yeah, they sort of ran out of moves.
Nothing. Yeah, so now we've got nothing. Does this happen often?
Yes.
Does
absolutely.
the DJ know? Because he seems to be good at switching up the beat.
And then they put on something a bit more old school.
Yeah, they put on Tricky by Run DMC.
This weirdly well lit nightclub. This really brightly lit nightclub.
But Kevin and Marcus start dancing and end up like breakdancing.
Yeah, just go up.
It's the same scene from earlier when they're insulting each other.
Yeah.
Just in dances. Like it's the exact
Absolutely.
same scene.
They go way harder, they're way better prepared, like
yeah, they're just ready. And the girls are like doing a bad dance back. Oh, it's such a weird scene. And it's nonsense for the rest of the and it's never referenced properly. And it's such a strange thing. And Terry Crews is like hands the dog over to the high guy.
Yeah, he ends up like
it's like I need to go dance.
Dancing crazily. One of the friends, the one that likes Heath, is like throwing up in the bathroom, so that's when they find out even more backstory too.
Yeah, so she's really drunk and she's talking about how like they're she's like drops that they're broke.
Yeah,
and
her
dad
had to
like
the money. Yeah,
bail them out, and they're like, broke. Shit, okay, so that's that changes who their prime suspect is quite dramatically.
Yeah.
But yeah, Terry Crews dancing in this scene is also just great.
the exact same vibe as the 1,000 Miles scene.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure that there's a much longer video of him dancing that they put in late, that they cut down.
I'm sure, it's one of those ones where I bet they kind of yelled cut about 5 minutes earlier. But he just kept going.
Yeah.
They just let him go. Like it's just a static shot of him and like 3 or 4 other people dancing, and it's him just fucking going for it with glow sticks and whistles.
Yeah, he's just got a whistle and he is blowing it.
Yeah, and like covered in oil.
And then it just cuts to him waking up next to someone with long hair, but surprise, it's the guy with long hair that gave him the drugs.
Oh, wow. Again, bisexual king.
Well, I mean, they do the sit up and scream thing.
It doesn't necessarily mean because he's a dude, it's just because that's not who he wanted to go to bed with.
Well, we've been through this. It's because he's white.
Yeah.
But they don't, that's the thing, like, obviously they do the wake up and scream thing and it's funny, but it's not, it could have been, like, played up way more and been way more homophobic, and it just isn't. They just are quite happy to leave it at that.
Yeah.
And
again, this
fairly good comeuppance for him trying to spike a girl's drink.
100%.
No, exactly.
This film is not as not as offensive as you'd expect going into it.
And then
then the actual girls.
Yeah, the real Wilson sisters are like reading the newspaper, and they're like, "Oh my god, we've seeing about all the stuff that they've been doing," and then they just go, "Oh no, we've been cloned."
Yes.
Yeah, they're really
just straight up eyeball the camera, like stare down.
Yeah. So they go to the Hamptons.
Because they're like they're impersonating us. Like, we need to sort this out. And then obviously that shenanigans occur where it's like, well, there's now 2 sets of them.
Yeah. This is where Marcus's wife finds them in the hotel as well.
Turns up. Yeah.
And there's a whole thing.
He's really bad at hiding. He's really bad at not appearing suspicious.
Yeah. And it's like,
because again,
tell your wife that you're on a job and that's Kevin. You know?
Yeah, like, are they worried that she'll tell?
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, at that point, just tell her.
Yeah.
In like the most normal, because she's like, "Oh, you're wearing lipstick." Just tell her at that point.
Yeah.
And then you get this slightly transphobic moment that may not be transphobic. Is weird when he's like, "It's a man," and she's like, "You're disgusting." I don't know. I don't know how to call that one.
No. And then the other 2 FBI agents have got the real sisters, and they're men pretending to be women and just like try and pull their mask off and stuff, but it's just actually them.
That scene was actually quite horrible.
Yeah, that was awful.
Because they properly like strip them.
Yeah,
and it is these women actually suddenly are very vulnerable. Yeah,
like the first bit of trying to rip the mask off their face, that bit's funny, and then it's just very quickly like,
it just escalates too far, and that is the most naughtiest part of this.
Yeah.
Pulls the top down, lifts the. But it was like, well, there's one thing you can't fake, and obviously you don't see it on camera, but it's still like.
Yeah,
getting there.
When they pull the top down as well, the woman who's had her top pulled down just looks around and is like, yeah, that's like, because everyone's like kind of looking, and she's just looks kind of like smug about it.
Yeah,
like she's proud of them.
Yeah, I just don't think that would be.
No,
because people are commenting on them like, oh wow, those are like exquisite or whatever they say, and it's just like, I don't think that's necessarily how it would go.
It's not good,
considering like how aware a lot of the other comedy was. This sort of sticks out.
Yeah, and it's not done in like they're terrible people, like the people doing it a terrible kind of way. It's just like, isn't this funny?
Yeah,
they are like immediately sacked. At least
they are, but they're not like villains doing it.
No.
Yeah,
it's a gag to be like, oh, these are the real women. You're like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just do the head pull thing, and it's not a mask. That's all you need to do.
That's a classic comedy thing as well.
Yeah, like that's a classic Scooby Doo bit.
Trying to pull the mask off, and you can't. And oh shit, they're the real one. And...
Yeah, the classic Scooby Doo bit.
So the chief fires them because he finds out that Marcus and Kevin have been sort of undercover and stuff.
Yeah,
fires them.
The white chicks.
And they realise that the Vandergild's prints were all over the ransom note, and they're like, oh, we need to go and stop the kidnapping. We know what's going to happen. Like, it's actually these other people hosting it. So they go to the white party, which is everyone dressed in white.
Yeah, which is an actual thing.
Yeah.
I see them on. Do you guys ever watch Below Deck?
No.
No, I feel like I should.
I think you'd like it.
Bad reality
like it. Dan,
TV.
I think you'd hate it.
Probably.
Bad reality TV.
It is very bad. But yeah, they often have like white parties on that.
Yeah, it's something very, very rich people. Well, not very, very rich people do. It's something like very rich people do.
Yeah.
Middlingly wealthy people.
And everyone wears white, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's like a fancy party. I guess it's not even white tie.
No.
It's just
like
everyone's
white
wearing
linen.
white because like white tie is different.
Yeah.
It's white like beach party vibe.
Yeah, I mean that's 2000 though. It that might have been like the height of like poshness at that point. It's so hard to know what is like costume joke and what is like, oh no that was what they were wearing.
That's the look.
But so there's a fashion show there as well, and because the Vandergilds are so not hot right now, the Wilson sisters are now in, but obviously it's Marcus and Kevin dressed up as the Wilson sisters, until the real Wilson sisters also show up too.
Yeah, and then we have the bit whenever a film like this happens.
Yeah, so they go out and then there's like they get mixed up. So then they come out and it's like, oh, they changed so quickly. Yeah. And then it's like, wait a minute, and then like then Marcus comes out with one of the girls, and then they're like, what's going on? And then like there's big, people falling over on the fashion show thing.
Almost Scooby-Doo like.
Yeah. The other sisters are trying to like sabotage them. Oh, one of them is like being like, oh, I'll sleep with you if you let me in. And the guy who's running a fashion show is like, oh, honey, you're so barking up the wrong tree.
Good gay joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead they try and sabotage them by putting like emu costumes in and like putting red paint above the runway.
They're going to do a carry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like the dresses were like the famous Bjork dress. Where it was the swan dress that Bjork wore.
Oh, okay.
That's what they wore like the shit versions. It's like a weird bit of fashion. I forgot who I was talking to.
So gay right now, but I love it. Tell me more dress trivia.
I forgot who I was talking to. Oh, it's Helena's football all over again. But yeah, it's the famous Bjork dress.
Yeah.
Either I can't remember if it was Bjork or first.
Yes,
or...
you can.
No,
Don't
I can't.
play it down now.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's a reference to the Bjork look.
Yeah. So that happens. They end up getting kidnapped in a big dragon.
Yep.
Yeah, that felt like, a little bit of cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a big Chinese dragon.
But at this point, who's to say in this film?
But yeah, no, God fucking knows what's going on.
Oh yeah, the paint, the Vandergirl sisters burst onto the stage as well, and like the paint lands on them, and so they get covered in this red paint.
And everyone there's like, how genius, how brilliant.
Well, one guy is like, oh, it's genius, and everyone else is like, oh yes, of course it is, because everyone else is like, what the fuck is going on?
Fashion.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a specific dress.
But yeah, so they all sort of end up fighting. They fight Russ and Heath, who are the guys that had been trying to like kidnap them. The dad then has a gun and he's like taking the real sisters away.
Yep.
And Denise is filming the whole thing.
Yeah, Vandergeld. Yeah.
Yeah. Denise is filming the whole thing, and they're like, "Oh, we're broke." Like,
yeah, this was funny. Then Martha Stewart broke, or MC Hammer broke, and he's like, MC Hammer broke. No.
They go to shoot like the fake Tiffany, and Terry Crews just dives in front. And it's when he gets shot and his assistant's like, it's okay, you'll be okay, we'll get this stain out, don't you worry.
Yeah.
It's not about the fact he's been shot.
No.
And then he's devastated that it's actually a black guy, just because he's black, not because it's a guy.
Yeah, because bisexual king, Terry Crews.
Absolutely.
So it all kind of comes out. Kevin tells the truth to Denise as well, and he's just like, look, I've been undercover, but this is the real me, I'd love to get to know you. Marcus talks to his wife and is like, see? Like, this is what's
I know that you are a human.
Him and the I have empathy, I perceive you.
You have feelings, I acknowledge them.
That's it, that's such a low bar. But even the journalist is like, you lied to me the whole time, but you took a bullet for me, and that's fine.
I'm like, that earned you like a date. I'm like, that's not terrible. Like, I'd consider it for someone who'd risked their life for me.
Yeah, he's just like, that's hot, actually. I was like, yeah, kind of, but also,
it's like,
just been lying to you.
Girl, like, yeah. One day, he gets in one retry.
Yeah. But, like, he also hasn't been lying in, like, undercover kind of way. He's just been lying.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. He's not, at no point does he have to play Luttrell for the show. Like, not for the show, for the sting. It's, he just does that because he's just taking advantage of the fact that Luttrell is distracted as fuck by his colleague.
Yeah. This film, and then, the film ends, and it's just weird. It's just weird.
I'm surprised this film didn't have like outtakes in the credits. This feels like an outtakes
really
in the credits
feels
kind
like
of film.
Should, yeah.
Oh no, this feels like an outtakes in like a DVD special box.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I bet there are outtakes.
So many.
I might watch them in a bit, actually.
This has like a blooper reel. And it's mostly Terry Crews singing
Yeah.
1,000 Miles and dancing. Yeah, this film's so weird because it should be more offensive than it is. And, like, it's a bit offensive, but it should be more.
And it's weird to say that.
It is. Everything about this film, when it came out, the plot, what it's about, the people making it.
It's like the opposite of Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you go and you're like, this shouldn't be racist. This is really racist. And you're like, this is going to be racist. And no.
Yeah. There's bits.
The
There's a couple
start
scenes
is very
that don't
racist.
age well. There are scenes that don't age well, but on the whole...
Yeah, it could have been so much worse.
It could have been so much worse. This could have been an Adam Sandler movie. And, like, we have Adam... It's the closest you can get is to, like, an Adam Sandler movie that came out in the mid-2000s. They're bad.
Yeah, that would have been far worse. I mean, I still had an enjoyable time watching this, though.
Yeah.
Like,
50 First Dates came out in 2004, and that has blackface in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, I enjoyed this film, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But I also realised that there are a lot of scenes that are bad, and a lot of it isn't great.
Yeah.
And hasn't aged well. But on the whole, like, it's the most surreal shit.
It helps, like, obviously, being one that was watched a lot, like, the nostalgia of some of the jokes that were quoted a lot, but it was one of them where I'd get to a scene and be like, oh shit, I remember this bit. Like,
I remember this film. Yeah. Gets its hooks in. This film gets its hooks in.
Yeah.
It's so memorable.
Yeah.
There's so much, like, toilet humor. We totally glossed over the part where at the party at the start he eats some quiche with cheese in it.
He's lactose intolerant. Yeah.
And shit, like, nearly shits himself, and it just destroys the bathroom. And the girls are like, it's quite funny, kind of like, oh, girls don't poop thing, but like, I remember, like, being when I was younger, like, you couldn't poo in, like, a communal toilet. Like, that was just not, like, it was embarrassing enough for, like, people to hear you wee. Like, normally you'd have a friend that would just press the hand dryer for you, like, the entire time you were peeing. It's very funny. I mean, it's crass. It's very crass. But I don't know. Yeah, it, like, I had to pause it at once, and I did pause it at, like, the best spot where he's just, like, his face is screwed up, his, like, knees are up by his ears, and, like, there's just these weird sort of granny pants flying over.
Out of 10, though. This is a hard one. Out of 10.
I'm gonna give it 7 shamus back in the ocean. I had a good time. I chuckled my way through this. Like, it was engaging, and it's not super long, and I totally understand why this appealed when I was younger, and I'm just honestly, I'm just relieved as well because it should have been so much worse. I was really expecting. So it sort of weirdly gains points for not being racist enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd give this 7 powdered breast milks out of 10. Like, I was genuinely like, oh, this is good. Especially from that opening scene. I'm like, oh, this is just going to be so cringy and bad. But no, a lot of the jokes do still hold up very well.
Yeah, the jokes land.
Yeah.
Again, this is an incredibly 7 movie.
Yeah.
I'd go with 7 dance-off sequences.
I could have done the choreography for that. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
That's not me saying I'm good at choreography.
That's not you saying you can do breakdancing.
Oh, I could have done that bit. I could have done the white girls dancing bit.
Yeah.
I could have done that
bit,
I think that's how bad it was.
I think this is an incredibly 7 movie.
Yeah. But that's not a bad thing, you know. Sometimes you want a 7.
Thing.
You don't. It doesn't always have to be intensely the best thing ever. It doesn't have to be
and
making you cry.
Yeah, and sometimes you go in expecting it to be a 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's nice to not.
So I think a pleasant surprise.
Surprising 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid.
Pretty good. Yeah. Watch it. And turn your brain off and suspend
you do
your
not
disbelief
need your
over
mind.
an active
Like, the plot is
volcano.
not complicated, and it reminds you all the time.
And suspend your disbelief
There's
as far
nothing
as you physically can.
about this film.
No.
Like a bungee jump, suspend your disbelief.
Hello? guys.
Can you not hear us?
Hello?
We can hear you. This is the opposite to normal.
Hello? And
Oh.
I've been Helena. I just put that in, done, edit that in. Uh-oh.
This is, normally we can't hear Helena, and
My ping's gone to 5,000 ms.
That might be it.
yeah, that's not
I'm
great.
gonna leave and come back. 'Cause
Okay.
if it doesn't, that's the only thing I know how to do.
Hello?
Hello?
Are you there?
Hello?
Hi!
We
I'm
could
back.
actually hear you that
Cool.
whole time. For once.
Cool.
Well, sorry about
Cool,
that.
That's all right. Now that you're
As
back,
As you probably
I've
guessed,
been
I
back.
couldn't hear you.
I've been Michael.
You've already got mine.
Yeah, we can cut yours in.
Yeah.
And I've been Helena.
You can find this podcast on social media at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord if you want to come in there, chat to us. Let us know what you thought of White Chicks if you've watched it recently, and if not, watch it. Let us know what you think. You can leave us a review as well on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything like that. It helps kind of
It really helps.
Spread the word.
Tell your friends. Tell your family.
Yeah. Tell someone who might
Don't
enjoy
do
this
that,
show.
Joe.
Tell your colleagues.
And if you enjoy it even more, we have a Patreon where you can support us, keep the show going. Oh, what are we doing for the Patreon this week?
I know the obvious answer is we're going to do a White Chicks.
We're going to learn to do the dance off.
Yes, we're going to do...
I
we're
thought
going
it was
to-
quite obvious that we're going to remake Some Like It Hot.
Yeah, we're going to...
And I'm going to be Marilyn Monroe, obviously.
Yeah. Sure.
And I'm Terry Crews.
No, we're not doing that. Dan, we're not doing that. Dan, we're not. We're not doing that. No, we're going to redo...
Yeah, Dan, 2004 called.
We're going to do even 2004, that wasn't okay, Dan.
Wait, yeah, I literally just realised that's not, I didn't mean
Yeah.
blackface. That's not
We're going to...
I just thought it was
No,
funny
how-
because I'm a really weedy guy and he's muscly
We're
as
gonna-
fuck.
We're gonna create a dance routine to a song, and then we're gonna hang around in nightclubs until it comes on,
And hope for the best.
and then we're going to, and by the rules of White Chicks, there will be another group there that also knows a dance routine.
I'll do the
That's
choreography.
Yeah.
My 16 years of dance
Yep.
lessons
Yep.
have been building up for this.
Yeah, but we're gonna use the money to hire a studio.
Yeah.
To practice,
Yeah, obviously.
not to record the podcast.
Why would you
We're a
do that?
No, not
podcast.
that kind of stuff. We get there and there's just it's a box with tables and microphones. We're like, how are we going to
Damn.
dance in here? Look,
Damn it.
you're a podcast. You said you needed a studio. We're so confused.
Yeah, I don't understand the confusion.
And then we can. You can get bored of practicing, and I can tell you a story, and we can do Bobby and the
Oh,
Nutcracker.
God.
But it's White Chicks.
How did you bring that bag? How did you bring Barbie and the Nutcracker back?
Because that film is eternal and is rent free in my
It's-
mind 80% of the time.
The only thing I remember is does rocks float on?
Well, clearly time to rewatch it then. Fantasy football. Right, here are your character sheets. What? Why is it on paper? I thought we were using. Nope. Right. Your name is Jude Bellingham.
I want to pass to this person. Okay, roll for...
Have you seen how in depth and ridiculous Football Manager is? It's so funny. Yeah, so it basically because football there's so many stats available.
What if we're having this football?
It'll be
hour?
like
Let's start recording.
I'm already recording.
Yeah, I'm
so
recording
there'll
too.
be if someone it'll be if someone assists or that means they help they the pass to the person who scores.
Yeah, they help the person get the kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you get an assist.
And then if they defend, they get points for defending or corner stuff like that, saving goals, shooting goals, obviously. And it's you get points and lose points, I guess, based on the people you picked, what they do in the actual real matches. So that's The fantasy element is that it's your ideal team made up of players from random, all of the teams in the Prem.
But do you get like a budget to buy the team with?
Yes, so that's what's happening on because there you can play like a global one where like everyone you can have like like you get points and it's just about like who can be the best and it's like loads like hundreds of thousands of people playing, but Jim plays with his mates in like a closed team, so they can only one person can have that like each player. There's no like copies of players.
Can
so
they
have a draft game. They have a draft day where everyone then has to like pick their team and like bid for them and stuff.
That's incredible. Can you buy and sell players?
Yeah.
So why isn't it run like a D&D game?
I mean, I think it basically is. There's an app for it.
But no, that's boring. A DM.
Kick 20.
Sorry. General Football Manager and FM.
I am the game manager.
Yeah, that's such a fun, like, that's so nerdy.
It is. It's incredibly nerdy.
Football.
And again, this is the person who doesn't want to play Baldur's Gate 3 because it
looks too nerdy.
Too nerdy.
But has played D&D and plays fantasy football. My God.
He also likes Rocket League, which is car football.
It's car football.
And finished The Witcher 3 not too long ago. Now he's playing Fallout 4.
Not a nerdy game at all. It's only about a 1950s future where the apocalypse happens. It's not nerdy. They use fucking.
He does play a lot of
houses,
COD,
man.
so you know.
That balances it out.
Yeah.
That's the least nerdy game there is.
And he rage quits COD quite a lot.
Okay, back to being a nerd. We're back, baby. I don't get.
I went to a water park this weekend.
You went to a what?
He went to a water park this weekend.
Oh.
I don't know if that's nerd points or anti-nerd points.
I think that's kind of neutral.
He brought me back a baseball cap.
Were they doing fantasy football while they were there?
No, fantasy baseball.
No, because the season's over.
How was I supposed to know? You said that like I was supposed to know. So wait, when's the season for... Imagine having a season for D&D. Sorry, I need to schedule my fantasy football. It doesn't even have orcs.
Sorry guys, it's the sun's out, it's slightly too sunny, we can't play football now.
Let's play fantasy football.
Yeah, all the drow get disadvantage.
Man, the halflings are the worst. Like, halflings are not meta because they just have a slower move speed.
They've got that nimble feet.
They do have that. Yeah, dwarves are mostly square.
I was about to make a football joke and realised there's no point.
No, make the football joke.
Just imagine them when they're doing a corner.
Uh-huh.
And they're all just like, you could stack them all up on top of each other.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you know what a corner is in football?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm more thinking about how confused the dwarves get when they're asked to do a wall.
Start in no time. I don't know what a corner is.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh, not to go on a tangent straight away.
Uh-huh.
But do you guys want to see something cute?
Is it a rat? Is it rat-based?
It's not rat-based. You know how Jim and I have walrus toys?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We've got a baby one.
Aww.
Where is it?
He's a little baby.
Nice.
Your baby walrus.
Little baby.
It's called Rustine.
Rustine.
Rustine?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a mum's Rosina and a dad's Rossi. So, you know.
That's not. Imagine if that's how people got their name. Be awful.
It would. Okay.
I guess it would just be Huey and Manny.
What?
Well, because they're walruses. That's where we got Russ from.
Yeah.
We all got good walls.
Humans follow. Oh no, they have a friend called Wally.
How do they have a friend?
In the extended Walrus universe.
The fantasy walrus universe.
Yeah, fantasy walrus football.
No, only old Bear plays football, and then actually so does Sammy the seal that lives downstairs.
What? Okay.
We've been together a long time. Our toys have built up a lot of lore.
And yet, don't want to play D&D or Baldur's Gate because it's too nerdy.
We have an octopus called Paul and a crab called Claude. He's French.
Obviously.
And obviously I've got my cat Jellico.